Let's talk about Datadog. And obviously, we need to start by talking about that wonderful $65 million bill that we all heard about from Coinbase. So Datadog is a pretty incredible product. It's great. It is a market leader for a reason. But you've got to ask, $65 million? Is it really worth it? So first and foremost, the reason why Datadog announced that they had a customer that was being charged $65 million is because it's a liability. They knew that that customer got one hell of a sticker shock. It wasn't delivering that kind of value. This was Coinbase prioritizing growth over all else, but Datadog knew that they weren't going to see that money again. They announced that that was a one-off, $65 million gets listed in their filings and go on with their lives. So is Datadog worth $65 million? Absolutely not. Let's have a look at Datadog, and I'm going to tell you their dirty little secret. Datadog, in my opinion, have two advantages over any other observability vendor or general tech vendor out there. One, consistently, they've shown the ability to execute over and over and over again. Really, really, really well. Very impressive, particularly at a company that's been around for 15 years in a competitive market. They're not succumbing to distractions. Two, they've got a very coherent product strategy. They were the first people that really tied together log data and APM data. Having this unified UI, having all of the data being able to cross-reference each other, really just implies that there is a coherent vision and a collaboration across the teams. Ultimately, when it comes to observability data, knowing that you have an error, or knowing that you have a log line, or knowing that you have a trace, all of that is useful in isolation, but so much more useful in the context of everything else going on. I have a log line, but I have a log line in the context of like a browser trace that's hit the server, that's caused a distributed trace that's generated the log line. And now you've got this full rich story. They are also known for horrible billing practices, pretty horrible sales practices. Anytime they get a shout out for some reason, record sales or $65 million bill for a customer called Coinbase, you look on Hack and News and all it is filled with hate. It's a lot of people saying how shitty their sales teams are, that they keep harassing people, calling people, how duplicitous their sales tactics are or their billing practices are. There's a lot of things like high watermark billing. You might have a spike one day because there's a sale going on and you get penalized for that high watermark. When it comes to their logging product, it's billed by the million number of events. On the one hand, that's a fairly abstract concept, but on the other hand, it allows people to go for wide events. And you'll actually see a bunch of mid vendors out there going and doing these backwards gymnastics to go and aggregate multiple events together into a single event and take advantage of Datadog's it's just one event that you're paying for, it happens to have 500 different columns. They do give you the tools to go and manage your data better than almost any other vendor out there, but it's just a bit of a mess. The dirty little secret of Datadog is that their product is really good and their sales team is very aggressive. Datadog, it's a premium tool, it's an amazing product. Their billing practices are a little bit on the shadier side. So what are we going to do about it? Use Datable. We sit between the data being generated, this could be anything from your application, your infrastructure, and destinations like Datadog. We speak the Datadog wire protocol. So with minimal engineering lift, you're able to understand the data that Datadog is collecting, inspect it, and then act on that. That could be sending it to different destinations, such as S3, or maybe you've got a security team sending it to Splunk, maybe you've got a BI team sending it to Snowflake. That could even be downsampling that data. Now, Datadog has a lot of tools that help you do that, but we're unlocking you from Datadog. This means that you can use in-house tooling, Uptrace, Grafana, these things, and save yourself a whole bucket of money and still deliver upwards of 90% of the value. At the end of the day, Datadog's dirty little secret is the same as every other observability vendor's dirty little secret, which is these vendors, they control the collection of data, they collect the data, they send it to themselves, and they charge you for the data that they are in control of collecting. There's very little that you can do to go and manage that. And in a universe where everything is consumption-based, they charge you for gig ingested, for gig stored, for gig egress. It's often too late for you to go and react to a spike. I mean, having a denial of service attack, having something happen, the last thing that you're thinking about is, oh no, my Datadog bill. You're trying to make sure that your infrastructure recovers and you can get back to serving the product that you built. This is the catch though, with things like high watermark billing, with consumption-based billing, with a lot of these per gig scanned billing models. That's it. The event has happened, you've been charged for it, you didn't even know it was being collected, you didn't even know what was happening. Often this could be as simple as a dev makes a change to debug logging versus info level logging versus warning logging. A lot of these observability vendors originally started by being built on top of things like Postgres or Cassandra, and have moved into a place where they now have custom in-house databases. So Datadog, particularly their logging product, was elastic. They got their logging product through an acquisition of a French logging startup. In addition, they bought Timber, which turned into Vector, and that's their log collector. And now they've invested time in replacing all of these open source tools like Elastic with their own proprietary in-house database, which is called Husky. These things are really premium. They're pretty fantastic bits of technology. It's a lot of really smart engineers that put a lot of time into making sure this runs. And it's really sophisticated technology that you get the benefits of multi-tenant and at scale. You don't need premium for 99% of your data. A lot of the modern, like brand new modern observability vendors are built on top of ClickHouse. So you're getting a lot of the advantages of these Husky-like database solutions, but you're leveraging things like S3 and you're leveraging Lambdas or serverless query engines, where you're getting the benefits of SaaS through Amazon being the infrastructure provider instead of the benefit of SaaS through a vendor having managed the infrastructure and load balancing a whole bunch of customer queries.